Hi everybody, let's talk about some football. I just finished watching Portugal beat Denmark 5-2 for the Europe Nations League, and let's talk about Portugal national team. I'm from Portugal indeed. I recently made a video here on the channel talking about Roberto Martinez, the coach, the manager of Portugal's national team, and obviously he still has some work to do. Eventually we won against Denmark, but it was a tough game and it shouldn't be such a tough game. By the way, credit to Denmark, they played really, really well. They have a solid team, even though individually they don't have the power or the stars that Portugal, Germany, Spain, or France has, for an example. They still play very well, they are very combatant, they were very solid, very well organized, a very well worked team, and they had Højlund, though, that got out hurt. I hope he comes back ready to play for Man United. I want Ruben Amorim, a fellow Portuguese manager, to succeed in that club as well. But let's go back here to Portugal, and first, congratulations to the Portuguese players. Congratulations to Cristiano Ronaldo and another goal for our GOAT. And actually, here in Portugal, a lot of people call him a camel because he's playing in Saudi Arabia. But with all respect, it's more like a name that comes out of love and not out of hate. It's just like a funny nickname that we call here Cristiano Ronaldo now. And also, congratulations to Bernardo Silva. He made his 100th appearance for Portugal, 100 games for Portugal national team. It's a great feat, and he actually played really well today. Let's start analyzing the game a little bit from my perspective. I watched the whole game, and it was looking tough, I have to admit. But a lot of people weren't able to perceive the value that he brought to the game. Some people were able, even commentators from multiple TV channels that I was checking after the game, they saw the value of Bernardo Silva and also Bruno Fernandes, even though not a lot of magic with the ball, not goals or assists coming in from Bruno or Bernardo. They played really well. Like Bernardo Silva, on the channel that I was watching the game, they were saying jokingly that he was the new left back of the Portuguese team. By the way, once again, shout out to Nuno Mendes, bro. What a star. He's an amazing player. One of the best, if not the best left back in the world right now. Of course, he still needs to improve a little bit his intelligence with the ball, because without the ball, he's great. Like, he's almost always, you can never be always in the right place, but he's almost always in the right place. But sometimes when he starts running, sometimes he goes faster than the ball, dude is really fast, and sometimes he just doesn't really have the creativity or the vision of a good midfielder or offensive midfielder, but he does really well. But yeah, Bernardo Silva, jokingly, people were saying he was the new left back because he was always appearing at left back, going forwards, going backwards. He was basically a box-to-box midfielder, even though it's not his right position, but he was running a lot, giving a lot of coverage. He played well, not like an amazing game, but it was a good game. Bruno Fernandes, once again, a great game. Vitinha, he played really well, of course. I think he always kind of plays well, but he was kind of, here in Portugal we say mastigar o jogo, chewing the game, like instead of playing quick or with some focus or with some more directness and urgency, it slows down the game, turns right, turns left, turns backwards, make the pass. And there was a lot of times where the press from Denmark was failing, and Vitinha being the most, like he was receiving the ball further away from the Portuguese attack, so he has more time and space to do some good direct passing. Not like crazy, not like good old English football, right? The hit and run, like a bit more direct passes to Rafael Leão or Francisco Conceição, right? And he was like not doing that, always looking to play through the middle, which was where the Danish press was working the best. So I think he still needs to improve on the national team, understand a bit more his companions, and how maybe it was Roberto Martinez telling him to do that. I don't know. I don't really understand Roberto Martinez sometimes. But the midfield of Portugal played well, but there was still a lot of, or not a lot of consistency or clarity. There was a lot of mistakes, especially on our back line. There was Ruben Dias with a major mistake that led to a goal. Gonçalo Inácio with one major mistake that didn't lead to goal. But there was a lot of passes like to the middle of the pitch, that it didn't need to work like that. Once again, we could play a bit more direct, like if you need to, hoove it. Even the commentators that I was watching, they were like, we need to hoove it more when it's needed. Because one thing is hooving it, being your game plan, which I don't like, but when you need to, bro, do it, right? Just hoove it. Like, we don't need to be playing like prime Barcelona on our defense close to our right-hand side line of the field, side of the field. I mean, it's like we can just move it along a bit forward to jump or go forwards, go behind, or go further away. I mean, from the Danish press, for an example, in this game. And sometimes, instead of doing that, they will play into the middle of the park, giving a lot of opportunities, giving a lot of easy plays for Denmark that they weren't really able to create for themselves, right? It was also a kind of a weird game. We had an own goal. Ronaldo missed the penalty, which he usually doesn't take his penalties like that. He kind of like waited to see where the goalkeeper goes. Usually just bangs it in. Like he chooses the side, he doesn't care about the goalkeeper, just bangs it in. And usually he almost never misses, but today he did miss. That he scored his own goal, right? Which is really good. I'm sure he's really happy about that. A lot of the fans are happy about him. The fans were amazing. The supporters were really supporting in Estádio de Alvalade. It was very funny because we had a lot of players from both teams that play in that stadium for Sporting. We had Gonçalo Inácio on the Portuguese defense. We had Hjulmand on the Danish midfield. We had Conrad Harder that came later on extra time that also plays in Sporting. And we had the Portuguese hero of today, Francisco Tricão, with a very Portuguese mustache that also plays in Estádio de Alvalade for Sporting. So that was actually a fun fact. And even though we got the win, Portugal cannot keep playing like this. They will suffer tremendously against Germany, and will be playing with Germany at their place in the Bayern Munich stadium. So Roberto Martinez really needs to transmit, to plant, basically, because it's a bit deeper than just telling the players to have more discernment and more motivation and more will, more hunger for the ball, and to actually be combatant, you know what I'm saying? Because, for example, Diogo Jota came in and Francisco Conceição started the game, and they weren't very impactful directly, but their energy, their pressing ability was great. Like, one of the commentators was even saying that Diogo Jota was hurting, like, not really, but he was hurting the enemy players. And that makes a big difference, right? Because then the opponent players will not be so comfortable playing from the back, or when Portugal played a bit more direct towards the end of the game, the defenders wouldn't be so comfortable, for example, versus Rafael Leão. And actually, Rafael Leão is one of the big topics of the video today. Awful. Awful. He doesn't deserve to even be called up to the national team to play like that. Right? Because one thing is Cristiano Ronaldo, 4 years old, he doesn't press. Bro, I completely get it. First, he's a striker. Not all strikers need to press. And then he's 40 years old. And, like, you know, like, I totally get it. Like, or I didn't really enjoy Ronaldo's game, but not through that lack of will and that hunger. Ronaldo always has that. That's actually what made him miles away from his peers, was always that hunger and that determination, and he still has that. And I commend him for that. But Rafael Leão, bro, come on. You playing for one of the best national teams in the world. You start the game 2 games in a row, and also in Denmark, in Thursday, it was the same. No motivation, no will, no hunger, no press, always on the line, close to the line, right? Always into the left side of the field, doesn't come in to press, doesn't come in to offer lines of passing, doesn't come into the middle so Nuno Mendes can then project himself forwards. No, like, and when you have a player like that, and then Ronaldo as well, that he also doesn't press, it becomes very easy for the enemy, for the opponent defense to manage the game. And then what happens is, even though Francisco Conceição had a lot of energy and he was doing all those things, like the Danish defense, they knew, oh, only that guy is working. So if we can take care of him, or we only need to take care of him, and that was literally what happened. The game only really started to get more in Portugal's favor when first Denmark was tired, and then Diogo Jota, Francisco Tricão, and Gonçalo Ramos came in, and they bring way more dynamics. Yes, Denmark was tired, but Portugal was tired too, right? By the way, Diogo Dalot also with some key interceptions, but he also needs to improve a bit of his vision, but shout out to him, he played well, right? So, Rafael Leão, he needs to eat bench, comer banco, like we say here in Portugal, or not be called at all for like 1 or 2 games. So he understands like, we might have not as talented players, but we do. Diogo Jota can play on the left, even though it's not his best position, but he can play on the left. Francisco Tricão can play on the left too, even though it's not his best position. But like, we have players for that position. Pedro Neto could do it too, even though I kind of enjoyed his game on Thursday, but it wasn't like the best. But he can play there over there. Like, we have solutions. We don't need to always start Rafael Leão. Like, he wasn't even able to use his speed today. On one of Denmark's corner, actually, he was pushed aside, and then he went against Nuno Mendes, and the Danish player was able to score the goal. So he was kind of against Portugal, but like, he's a really good player, sure, but he needs to be more determined. Like, he needs to be more passionate. He needs to be more connected to the game. Otherwise, like, because sometimes, even though he's not connected, he does well, makes an assist, makes a goal, makes a couple of sprints, a couple of dribbles, but today not even that. And like, he's not even able to cross very well, he doesn't defend, doesn't press, he's not unpredictable, like, he was really not good. And Roberto Martinez took like 60 plus minutes to take him out. The commentators from the TV station I was watching, they were saying he should leave at halftime. Like, I didn't agree with that. I always like to, even when I play Football Manager or FIFA or whatever, I always like to give a chance, like halftime, the coach goes in, talks with the player, okay, let's go in, you know what to do, and sometimes things change. But like, I think 60, because it was 60 plus minutes, I think it was too much. And I really think like, if I was the coach, next game, he's not starting, right? For sure, especially after what Trincão did. But the thing is, or the cool thing about Nations League, like, the next game is only in June, if I'm not mistaken, so still a bit more than 2 months, so things can change, of course. And now Rafael Leão is with Sérgio Conceição at Milan, at AC Milan, so Sérgio Conceição is always known for bringing more intensity and more grit to his players, so hopefully Rafael Leão can be more motivated and connected to the game. Then, to finish the video here, kind of criticizing a bit Cristiano Ronaldo. He missed the penalty, that's okay. He scored the goal, which was great, a great shot. I think it was a shot from Bruno Fernandes, right? Shout out to Schmeichel as well, the goalkeeper from Denmark. He saved that header from Cristiano, and he also was hurt in the end of the match, and Denmark couldn't make no more subs, and he still made an incredible save. Like, he hurt his left shoulder, and he was still able to save a shot like that with his right hand, and then he was struggling on the lawn, on the grass. Like, shout out to him, he's a great player, right? But Ronaldo, or Cristiano Ronaldo, he needs to understand he's not an advanced midfielder, right? He's a fucking striker. I really don't like it when he drops to like the midfield where Bernardo Silva should be, or Bruno Fernandes should be, and then he picks up game and tries to redistribute game, and he tries to be like this number 10. First, he sucks at it, right? And then, if he succeeds, or if he then passes to Bruno or to Bernardo, and then it goes wide, and then they want to cross, guess who's at the box? Nobody, because he dropped so low, and he's not as fast as he was. Now he takes ages to go back to the box, so then we go wide, and then we can't cross because nobody's there, or it's like Francisco Conceição there, which is like 1 meter and 70 centimeters, or Rafael Leão is taking a nap at the left side and he's not in the box. So like, bro, Ronaldo, he has to understand that one of the great things he still has is his jump power, his vision, and this sense, his smell for the goal. If you are outside of the box, it's worthless. But if you're in the box, not only the defense will be shivering because Ronaldo is there, it's fucking Cristiano Ronaldo, but he still jumps really, really high, and he has a great timing to attack the ball and to move defenders away. And you know what's worse? He has been doing this in the national team. I don't watch his games at Al Nassr, sorry. But he's been doing this since I remember, since the World Cup in Qatar. Bro, can you fucking stop doing that? I'm sorry, man. But I'm not those Portuguese people that want Cristiano Ronaldo in the bench always or out of the team. But he needs to understand his role. Like, you're not an advanced midfielder, bro. You are a striker. You are what we call in Portugal a pinheiro, a pine tree. Your role is to be tall as fuck, to jump high as fuck, and to be a presence and a menace as a striker. Over there, in the defense, clashing with the defense, clashing for offsides. You know, not dropping in to then be a Bruno Fernandes or a Bernardo Silva. We have players good for that. We have Bernardo Silva, we have Bruno Fernandes, we have Vitinha. I did a save in Football Manager on my Variety Gaming channel, which you can check the links down below. I was using Vitinha as an offensive midfielder, and it fucking works. We don't need Ronaldo to drop deep and then try to play as a number 10. Like, that really kills the game. Because most times if he does not succeed, and then we don't have a reference, we don't have that target man up there, and the thing is, he doesn't need to be super fixed. He can still work in the area, right? He can still do some runs inside of the box, and he can still do some combinations inside of the box, right? But like, if he keeps dropping, sometimes he receives the ball on the midfield, like literally. Sometimes we had Vitinha, Bruno, and Bernardo and Cristiano Ronaldo in the midfield, literally. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Rafael Leão is taking a nap at the left, I mean. And Francisco Conceição is just running back and forward because he's the only dude that now we can make a good cross or a good direct ball for him to make a run. And then he has to catch the ball and then come back. I'm like imagine Francisco Conceição, imagine he breaks through the Danish defender, bro, he puts a cross in, or he makes a combination with Ronaldo, then Ronaldo pushes back for Bruno takes a shot. No, we can't do that because Ronaldo is still coming back from the midfield, you know. It's just like, bro, that's my only problem with Ronaldo now. I think he shouldn't start as many matches, but let him be. But don't be an advanced midfielder. Be a fucking striker, be a target man, be a pinheiro, be a pine tree, and you will do well. Other than that, Diogo Costa did very well. Diogo Dalot did okay. Ruben Dias and Gonçalo Inácio played well, even though, like I said, our defense was a bit shaky, but I mean, it's alright. Nuno Mendes, fucking star. Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, they don't get tired. They ran all the 120 minutes of extra time. Beautiful. Vitinha needs to be more quick, needs to trust more his teammates, I guess. Rafael Leão, get out of here, mate. You need to rest a little bit. You need to go to the bench and watch other plays. Francisco Conceição worked very hard but couldn't do much. Cristiano Ronaldo, be a target man. Diogo Jota came in with a lot of energy, basically to kind of be or do what Francisco Conceição was doing, but I think he was a bit more successful because the Danish team was more tired. Trincão comes in to save the game, 2 goals, but a lot of people were already making fun because the prize or the reward for Trincão's performance will be to be in the bench or not even be selected for the next Portuguese match. Like, because Roberto Martinez, you know what I'm saying? Gonçalo Ramos should have come in earlier as well. I think at like 65 minutes, 70 minutes, that's when Roberto Martinez changed Rafael Leão. He should change Ronaldo as well, and then Diogo Jota and Gonçalo Ramos coming in, you know, that would completely change the game for Portugal. But I'm happy for the win, but Portugal, because Portugal already has talent and quality, we just need, like I said in one of my previous videos, we just need more wit and hunger for winning. And that's all, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. I see you on the next one.